Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Bo-chan.
I'm Nimacum.
I'm Van-chan.
In this class, I'll read all of you a part of Ulysses.
S.
L.
Ulysses. James Joyce. Chuck. 13 Sec 2. And just now added these words as a telltale flash. Delicate as the faintest rose bloom. Crept into her cheeks, she looked so lovely in her sweet girlish shyness that of a surety God's fair land of Ireland did not hold her equal. For an instant she was silent with rather sad downcast eyes. She was about to retort, but something checked the words on her tongue. Inclination prompted her to speak out. Dignity told her to be silent. The pretty lips pouted a while, but then she glanced up and broke out into a joyous little laugh which had in it all the freshness of a young May morning. She knew right well. No one better. What made Squinty say that because of him culling in his attentions when it was simply a lover's quarrel. As per usual, somebody's nose was out of joint about the boy that had the bicycle off the London Bridge Road, always riding up and down in front of her window. Only now his father kept him in the evenings, studying hard to get an exhibition in the intermediate that was on, and he was going to go to Trinity College to study for a doctor when he left the high school like his brother. W. A. While he was racing in the bicycle races in Trinity College University. The door acted perhaps for what she felt. That a licking void in her house sometimes. Piercing to the core. Yet he was young, and perchance he might learn to love her in time. They were Protestants in his family, and of course Gertie knew who came first, and after him the Blessed Virgin, and then Saint Joseph. But he was undeniably handsome, with an exquisite nose, and he was what he looked. Every inch a gentleman. The shape of his head too at the back, without his cap on, that she would know anywhere something of the common, and the way he turned the bicycle out. The lamp with his hands off the bars, and also the nice perfume of those good cigarettes, and besides they were both of a size G, and she earned. That was why Eddie Boardman thought she was so frightfully covered, because he didn't go. I married up and down in front of her bit of a garden. Gertie was dressed simply, but with the instinctive taste of a votary of dame fashion, for she felt that there was just a mite that he might be out. A neat blouse of electric blue, soft tinted by jelly dyes, because it was expected in the ladies' pictorial that electric blue would be worn with a smart V opening down to the division and kerchief pocket, in which she always kept a piece of cotton wool, scented with her favourite perfume, because the handkerchief spoiled the sit, and a navy 3/4 skirt cut to the stride showed off her slim, graceful, forgetted perfection. She wore a coquettish little of a hat of wide-leaved nigger straw, contrast trimmed with an underbrim of a blue chinel, and at the side a butterfly bow of silk to tone. All Tuesday week afternoon she was hunting to match that chinel, but at last she found what she wanted at Carey's summer sales. The very it. Slightly shop-sold, but you would never notice. 7 fingers during a penny. She did it up all by herself, and what drew was hers when she tried it on then, smiling at the lovely reflection which the mirror gave back to her. And when she put it on, the waiter to keep the shape, she knew that would take the shine out of some people she knew. Her shoes were the newest thing in footwear. De Bourbon prided herself that she was very petite, but she never had a foot like Gertie McDowell. A 5. And never would Ash. O'Gorham with bat and tuck-ups and just one smart buckle over her harshins. Her wool tunnen could display its perfect proportions beneath her skirt in just the proper amount. And no more of her shapely limbs encased in fine spun hose with ice spice steels and white garter tops. As for these, they were Gertie's chief care and who that knows the fluttering hopes and fears of sweet 17, though Gertie would never see 17 again can find it in his heart to blame her. She had 4 dinky sets with awfully pretty stitchery, 3 garments and nighties extra, and each set slotted with different coloured ribbons. All's pink, pale blue, mauve and pea green, and she aired them herself and blued them when they came home from the wash, and ironed them, and she had a brick bat to keep the iron on because she wouldn't trust those washerwomen as far as she'd see them scorching the things. She was wearing the blue furlock, hoping against hope. Her own colour, unlucky too for a bride to have a bit of blue somewhere on her, because the green she wore that day would brought grief because his father brought him into study for the intermediate exhibition, and because she thought perhaps he might be up, because when she was dressing that morning she nearly slipped up the old pair on her inside out, and that was for luck and lovers meeting. If he put those things on inside out, or if they got untied, that he was thinking about you so long as it wasn't of a Friday. And yet, that strained look on her face. Annoying sorrow is there all the time. Her very soul is in her eyes, and she would give worlds to be in the privacy of her unfamiliar chamber where, giving way to tears, she could have a good cry and relieve her pent-up feelings, though not too much, because she knew how to cry nicely before the mirror. You are lovely, Gertie, it said. The pale light of evening falls upon a face infinitely sad and wistful. Gertie McDowell yearns in vain. Yes. She had known from the very first that her daydream of a marriage has been arranged, and the wedding bells ringing from Mrs. Reggie Wiley T. Because the one who married the elder brother would be Mrs. Wiley, and in the fashionable intelligence Mrs. Gertrude Wiley was wearing sumptuous confection of grey trimmed with expensive blue fox was not to be. He was too young to understand. He would not believe in love, a woman's birthright. The night of the party long ago in stores, he was still in short charters. When they were alone and he stole an arm round her waist, she went white to the very lips. He caught her little one in a strangely husky voice and snatched a half-kiss. The first, but it was only the end of her nose, and then he hastened from the room with a remark about refreshments. Impetuous fellow. Strength of character had never been Reggie Willie's strong point, and he would woo and win Gertie McDowell must be a man among men. But waiting. Always waiting to be asked, and it was leap year too, it would soon be over. No Prince Charming is her beau ideal to lay rare and wondrous love at her feet, but rather a manly man with a strong quiet face who had not found his ideal perhaps his hair slightly flecked with grey. And he would understand. Take her in his sheltering arms. Strain her to him in all the strength of his deep, passionate nature and comfort. Her with a long, warm kiss. It would be like heaven. For such a one she yearns this balmy summer eve. With all the heart of her she longs to be his only. His affianced bride, for riches for poor. In sickness and health. To death us to part. From this to this day forward. And while Lady Boardman was with little Tommy behind the pushcar, she was just thinking, would the day ever come when she could call herself his little wife to be? Then they could talk about her till they went blue in the face. Bertha Supple too. And Eddie. Little Spitfire. Because she would be 22 in November. She would care for him with creature comforts too, for Gertie was womanly wizened. Knew that a man liked that feeling of hominess. Hugard lake extant a golden brown hue and queen and pudding of delightful cream in his hat. Won golden opinions from all because she had a lucky hand also for lighting a fire. Dredging the fine self racing fire and always stir in the same direction. Then cream the milk and sugar and whisk well the white of eggs, though she didn't like the eating part when there were any people that made her shy, and often she wondered why you couldn't eat something poetical like violets or roses, and they would have a beautifully appointed drawing room with pictures and engravings and the photograph of Grandpapa. Cool chaps, lovely Doug Gayo and that almost talked it was so human and chance covers for the chairs and that silver toast track and Clary summer jumble cells like they have in rich houses. He would be tall with broad shoulders. She had always admired tall men for a spent with glistening white teeth under his carefully trimmed sweeping moustache, and they would go on the continent for their honeymoon 3 wonderful weeks, and then when they settled down in a nice snug and cosy little homey house, every morning they would both have brekkie. Simple but perfectly served. For their own 2 souls, and before he went out to business he would give his dear little wifey a good hearty hug and gaze for a moment deep down into her eyes. Lady Boardman asked Tommy Cuffrey was he done, and he said yes, so then she buttoned up his little knickerbockers for him and told him to run off and play with Jackie and to be good now and not to fight. But Tommy said he wanted the ball, and Eddie told him no, that baby was playing with the ball, and if he took it there'd be wigs on the green. But Tommy said it was his ball and he wanted his ball, and he pranced on the ground. If you please. The temper of him. Oh. He was a man already, was little Tommy Cuffrey, since he was out of pennies. And he told him no. No one to be off now with him, and she told Sissy Cuffrey not to give in to him. Are not my sister. Naughty, Tommy said. It's my ball. But Sissy Cuffrey told Baby Boardman to look up. Look up high at her finger, and she snatched the ball quickly and threw it on the sand, and Tommy after it in full career, having won the day. Anything for a quiet life. Bluff, sis. And she tickled tiny dusty cheeks to make him forget, and played his the Lord Mayor. Here's his 2 horses. Here's his gingerbread carriage, and here he walks in. Gingerbread. Gingerbread. Gingerbread chin. But Eddie got as cross as 2 sticks about him getting his own way like that from everyone always spitting him. I'd like to give him something, she said. So I would. Where I won't say. On the beotitum. Fafsissy Murley. Gertie McDowell bent down her head and crimsoned at the idea of Sissy saying in. On a like thing like that out loud, she'd be ashamed of her life to say. Flushing a deep rosy red. And Liddy Boardman said she was sure the gentleman opposite heard what she said. But not up in Curtis. That him, she said with a pert toss of her head and a piquant tilt of her. Was. Give it into on the same place as quick as I took at. Madcapsis with her Gullawog calls. To be continued.